Some stories are written in ink, others in light and shadow. But this one was developed in fear. It begins in 1943 with a photographer named Samuel Carver. He believed his Leica camera was a tool for capturing truth amidst the chaos of war. He walked through ruins, documenting destruction, believing he was an impartial observer. But one day, the truth decided to capture him. In a photograph of a bombed-out building, a faint figure stood behind the smoke. That night, as the image materialized in the darkroom, Carver's blood ran cold. The figure in the photo had his face. This was only the beginning. With each new photos he took, the spectral double grew closer, more defined. A shot of an empty street, there it was, at the far end. A portrait of a Suldrit peered over the man's shoulder. The tension mounted with every click of the shutter. Carver became a man haunted by his own reflection, trapped in a terrifying feedback loop. The final photograph he ever took was a self-portrait, though he didn't press the button. The figure was no longer in the distance. He was standing directly behind him, its cold presence palpable. The shutter clicked on its own. Weeks later, soldiers discovered his camera abandoned in the rubble. The film inside was undeveloped. When they processed it, they found Carver's final images. The shadowed figure was now sharp, undeniable, its features identical to the missing photographer. The last frame was black. The case went cold, filed away as another casualty of war, another mystery lost to time. The camera and its ghostly photographs were stored in an archive, forgotten. But some images don't stay forgotten. Fast forward to 1961. An archivist named Eleanor Vance, working in the dusty basement of a London museum, stumbled upon Carver's collection. As she examined the contact sheets, she noticed something impossible. For every photograph, there were two versions. One was clean, exactly as it should be. The other contained a shadowy figure inching closer and closer to Carver with each frame. It was like watching a ghost move through time, one snapshot at a time. Intrigued and disturbed, Eleanor dug deeper into the archives. She wanted to understand what happened to Samuel Carver. She spent weeks cross-referencing military records and personal journals, but found nothing. The story became an obsession. One afternoon, while documenting other uncatalogued items, she took a photograph of an old artifact for the museum's records. Later, when she developed the film, she saw it in the corner of her own photograph. Faint but unmistakable was a shadow. A shadow holding a camera, a shadow that looked just like her. Her investigation ended abruptly. Eleanor quit her job, and all records of her work on the Carver case vanished. The story, once again, fell silent. Until 1983. Alan Whitaker, a determined documentary filmmaker known for tackling unsolved mysteries, rediscovered the tale. He saw a masterpiece in the making a story of psychological horror, wartime trauma, and the supernatural. He tracked down the original Leica camera, now a display piece in a small, private museum. While filming it through the protective glass, he saw something in the reflection that made his heart stop. Behind his own image, standing in the camera's lens, was the faint outline of a man holding a camera identical to the one in the case. Alan tried to dismiss it as a trick of the light, a simple optical illusion. But the feeling of being watched never left him. He began his interviews, piecing together the fractured history of Carver and the brief, panicked investigation by Eleanor. The story was taking shape, but so was something else. Back in his apartment, strange things started happening. Polaroid photos, which he hadn't taken, would appear overnight on his desk. The first showed an empty hallway in his apartment. The next, his editing suite. a shadow lurking just out of focus. The Polaroids became his nightly terror. Each one depicted a scene from his life, but with the spectral photographer drawing nearer. It was in his living room, then just outside his bedroom door. Alan's paranoia grew. He documented everything. His film project turning into a desperate video diary. The last Polaroid he found was on his pillow. It showed the empty chair he always sat in, and next to it, a dark, sharply defined shadow holding a camera. After that night, Alan Whitaker was never seen again. His film was left unfinished. His disappearance another baffling chapter in the camera's cursed history. Decades passed. The tapes from Alan's documentary collected dust, just like Carver's photos before them. Then, a film student researching Alan's unfinished work got his hands on the footage. While trying to clean up the audio, he noticed something strange in the statica rhythmic, pulsing sound, almost like a heartbeat. Using audio software, he isolated the pulses. He then synced them with the video footage of Alan filming the Leica in the museum. His discovery was chilling. Each pulse in the audio corresponded perfectly with a flash of the spectral figure S reflection in the glass. It wasn't just an image. It was an entity with the rhythm of presence encoded in the static. Driven by this revelation, the student managed to track down the original camera. It was back in a secure archive, sealed away. When he finally saw it, a thin layer of fog coated the inside of the lens, as if something had just breathed on it from within. Against his better judgment, he raised his own camera and took a picture. He rushed to develop the photos, his hands trembling. The image slowly appeared. It was a clear shot of the cursed Leica, but he wasn't alone in the frame. Standing right behind his shoulder, a man's figure was perfectly in focus. A man with his face holding the very same camera. The story doesn't end. It just finds a new subject. We see the photographs overlapping Carver, Eleanor, Alan, the student. Faces and shadows merge, becoming one, an endless chain of reflections. The camera clicks, and another image is captured. Some images never die. They just wait to be seen again. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into the shadows, be sure to like and subscribe for more stories that will keep you up at night. Stay safe out there, and maybe think twice before you take your next picture.